Are you an empath struggling with being overwhelmed by other people's energies and losing yourself in the process? Now imagine transforming this challenge into your superpower. Now in this video, I'm going to guide you through the steps that will completely change your state of being. So just to clarify, what is an empath before we start? Here are a few signs that you may be an empath. So if you're a really sensitive person who is able to feel other people's energies, thoughts and feelings, you can sense when people are off, you can sense when they're lying or they have an ulterior motive. Now this obviously depends on whether you've also had some trauma around some of these issues where you may or may not have clarity on, or if you're disassociating from your own feelings, but you have this innate sensation and innate ability to feel other people's feelings and thoughts. But one key element here is that you can be an empath and know how to separate your feelings from others, especially if you've already built self-love and self-worth. But if you feel everything and it negatively affects you, then this video is for you. And I'd like to take you through this spectrum of sort of from narcissist to empaths. Both of these outcomes are coming from unsupported or unloving experiences in childhood. Now, the more severe the experience, the more severe the extremes of narcissism and being sensitive and emotional. On one side, you have a narcissist who copes by focusing on themselves. They're all about me, me, me. How can I manage to get what I want in order to feel safe? Now, what they want and how they get what they want, and they also have a very strong sense of self and identity, which is very clearly separate from other people. Now, on the other extreme, you have the empath, someone who is overly focused on others and what other people feel, and which this can also often be to the detriment of themselves. Now, they manage how they feel in order to feel safe. So they have learnt this technique as a child in order to feel safe. Now, they do not have a strong sense of their self or a tangible energetic understanding of where they end and where another starts. And it all merges into sort of oneness, and they can feel everything as if it's themselves. Now, both the empath and the narcissist have been born out of pain, abandonment, or life circumstances, and they've both adapted their behaviors in order to survive. So that's really helpful to have understanding if you're an empath, and especially as you will be tested by narcissists, to have an empathy that actually it's a spectrum along the same pain and struggle to survive. Now, they're both extreme ends and would have a much better life and experience if they could move more closely towards the centre, away from the extremes. They can also learn a lot from each other, which is why you'll find that narcissists and empath are attracted to each other, because there's so much knowledge and information to gain from being together. Now, they're attracted to each other so that they can learn. The empath to learn how to grow stronger, to develop that sense of self, that self-love, self-worth, so they set their boundaries and they learn to protect themselves. And the narcissist so that they can learn to love others, to be vulnerable, to empathize with other people's feelings and thoughts. Now, I had tried for years to stop taking on or feeling other people's energies when I didn't want to. Now, no matter what I did, it didn't seem to work. But now, following the steps that I'm going to take you through, it's really opened my eyes, and I now can use my gifts of insight and intuition without always losing my sense of self. I am still learning, and sometimes I find myself losing my container, especially when I do it unconsciously or when there's somebody that you love. But it will work. As I get more used to the habit, it will switch over from a habit of losing myself to a habit of being able to sense myself. So as an empath, you have a real superpower, because it's a gift. It's a gift of awareness and intuition and feelings, which is such an insightful gift. But of course, it can be a double-edged sword. So it's important to learn and to practice how to turn your innate gifts into a superpower, but preserve your energy and to look after yourself. So before we go into how, I just want to touch on an area which had been confusing for me for a long time, as I have and still do believe that it's really important to love others, especially if you understand or you follow the law of one and you recognize that ultimately, as I do, I believe that we're all one, we're all connected, and the value of being in service to others. The law of one is another video all on its own, so I won't touch on that here. But what I had to specifically learn in order to heal is to look after me, my body, my energy, and that wasn't negative. It was actually really crucial and a key part of me being able to be of service to others. It's not being selfish, it's actually being aware of and nurturing myself for the good of all. Now, that was a really challenging lesson for me to learn, as previously I was much more inclined to offer or turn the other cheek than to protect myself. So the key for an empath who is looking to stop being overwhelmed by other people's energies, and it also has the added benefit of ceasing to attract narcissists, is to start to recognize your own energy, your own body, your own feelings and emotions as separate and unique from others. Now, which I'll guide you through now. So a slight awareness check here is that anything that you learn, you will be tested. Life will test you whether you have really truly learned something. And if you have, you'll be given the opportunity essentially to stress test your new belief system. So be conscious of your actions and thoughts as you prepare and practice and understand what it really takes to have changed your new belief system. So the 3 steps that you can follow to start to change your awareness and experience as an empath. 1 is start to practice and learn where your energy is contained. So feel the wall. Notice that it is not you and that you are safe. It essentially feels like your energy is being thrown back at you, and you'll get a stronger sense of self when you identify that this isn't you, and you will then feel what is you. So when you can notice what is not you, at the same time you feel what is you. So especially if you feel disorientated, a little worn out or spread thin, practice touching the things that are around you and say, this is not me. And you will have a sensation back at you at the same time of what is. So this is not me. This is not me. And then number 2, you start to pull your energy back. You take a deep breath in and you pull your energy back in. And you get that really good sensation of what is you. And to some, it may be a completely new sensation and you'll have to practice and repeat. But essentially pulling your energy back, feel it and sit with that lovely feeling of you. Now, number 3, realize that you were naturally sending out your energy into the world as a distortion to ensure your safety. So you had learned that you needed to be hypervigilant and aware of what everybody else was thinking in order to survive, most likely as a child. But it's not helpful now. And as an adult, it doesn't serve you. And it doesn't serve others to lose your sense of self, even if you're offering somebody the gift of insight that they can't have. It's actually their journey, and it's their journey to explore and to learn those gifts. And it's your journey to learn to be centered and to be strong in yourself. So as a practical example, say, for example, when you're out in public or you're with another person, be conscious of what is you and choose to see what is the other. So with discipline, keep feeling where your energy is contained and pulling your energy back within you. And then you can imagine having a strong boundary and protecting your own energy. So once you're willing to look after your energy, your body, your space, you'll be less attractive to those narcissists. And at the same time, you'll be better able to refuse to collapse your boundaries and let other people walk all over you. So self-love and self-worth are a huge step in this process. So I'll be making another video shortly about how I managed to grow my self-worth and my self-love when it was non-existent to begin with. So please let me know if you've got any thoughts, any comments, got any questions, and I'll happily dive in and answer. Okay, lots of love. You take care. Bye.